would have been contact earlier on with the, oh my goodness me, he's inside for third.
Glock going to come back at him?
Yes, of course he is, of course he is. Now this is danger for Hamilton though.
Yeah.
Glock's got everything to gain and nothing to lose.
PK should be closer really to try and pick up some pieces if there is contact.
Glock,
that's going to beat sights. Wow, he's done him.
Balls of steel, this boy. In fact, both. Again, you know, a big
Great
pressure
stuff.
move
Great
from
stuff.
Glock. You can just imagine what the Formula One press room is like, can't you? Every single man stood on his feet going, are you seeing this?
Glock's come back at him again.
Yes, and PK's right in there as well, and that's contact.
Yeah, PK's done him. Oh! Exactly, that's where PK should have been. Just in case there was contact, pick up the pieces. Now Lewis has got to do it all again.
And they've got 2 more races at Monza as well to sort this out. PK suddenly has woken up. Glock is in danger of running out of tyre, I think, as is PK at this stage. This is for third, and the chance to go to Monza with the points lead, perhaps, for Lewis Hamilton. Five laps after this, Timo Glock in third, Nelson Piquet back up to fourth, Lewis Hamilton in fifth, Andreas Zuber leading by 1.2 across the line from Adam Carroll. Looks as though Zuber has just got a little in hand over the Ulsterman.
Hamilton's got a good toe again there, Martin.
Great toe, but Piquet's not asleep.
Got it covered this time. He's around the outside.
It's the S's of Snetterton. He's going to do Piquet on the outside and cut back.
Right-hander.
Yes, and he's pushing Zuber. Did you see Zuber's tyres spin up as he got under the gearbox? Glock, rather. I'm sorry. Yes, fantastic. But that makes him so slow. Here comes Piquet. Now, how far up to the pit wall is Lewis going to squeeze him when he comes? Because he will come. He doesn't need to. Piquet's doing the outside line like the Senna S's at Brazil. Fantastic.
Hamilton looks hungry, doesn't he? He looks more prepared for a fight.
Look at that. Imagine the filth that was on his tyres from that inside line when he came down here. He'd only partly cleaned it, getting past the Durango car earlier on.
And respect to Glock as well. I mean, he was giving it plenty, wasn't he? Fair, all fair, just leaving enough room.
They must have been about 6 inches apart there, at least. Oh yeah, plenty. Yeah. That's perfect.
That's
absolutely.
PK jumped past. Yeah.
And PK was little unlucky not to get past Glock as well there, but this is at the end of the previous lap, or the last lap to the one they're on now. And again, suddenly De Grassi's going, ooh, excellent, here's a place possibly. And Hamilton all over Timo Glock once more. Well, if he knows nothing else, Lewis Hamilton, he knows that Glock is not going to roll over just because he's the championship leader.
Just got crossed up there, Hamilton.
How hard was he on the throttle there? Goodness, he was on early.
Things about it, this is what Formula One should be. They should look at this and be embarrassed.
Yes, absolutely. They should hang their heads in shame, I'm afraid. Every time they're given the opportunity to try and make a difference, nobody actually does anything too much about it. Here he comes in again, from a long way back.
Yeah, I saw an article in one of the car magazines, not a motorsport magazine, saying that the reason GP2 is great is because it's full of hungry drivers. Well, I disagree. I mean, 3000 was full of hungry drivers, and the racing was generally pretty dull. Here comes Hamilton again with a great toe on Glock. Look at the speed he's carrying compared to Glock. Around the outside, no, Glock's having none of it.
Well, Glock was glued to the inside line there, all the way up the hill and down the other side. He knew exactly what was going on.
Oh, he's left a big gap there. Glock ran wide to try and make sure he got a good run of the pit straight.
Look, he's aiming at the apex now. from quarter of a mile away, he's aiming for the apex in the first turn.
Glock just made a tactical error there, just trying to make sure he got loads of revs onto the front straight. He just ran slightly too wide. Lewis got underneath him, forced Glock to miss the apex and made him slow onto the front straight.
Well, that's what Lewis was, lappy paddle shift and gear changes. As you can see there, Lewis Hamilton with his fingers changing gear all the way through.
Glock here takes an extreme wide line, really, and just didn't really allow for Lewis being quite so close, I don't think.
A bit too much Mallory Park hairpin there, and not enough defence. But then he knew what a toe he'd given away on the straight, and he could think exactly the same thing was going to happen. Sort of devil in the deep blue sea when the guy came in. Here we go.
Caught him by 4/10 in the first sector.
And fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, that was the last lap, yeah.
Another critical point there. Every single one of these extras will be very, very important. Now then, this is where he's set up for the long tow down to the final couple of corners. Is he close enough? Through this fast right-hander over the hill into the braking area at the other side. I think he might be. Here he comes. Here he comes. What's Adam Carroll got under braking? Not enough, no.
Dear.
Well, you saw Adam move onto the racing line. He knew the game was up.
Formality. Well, Hamilton did the fastest ever middle sector of the race there.
Phenomenal. Andreas Zuber from second on the grid claims a momentous first GP2 win for himself. A great result, but what a race. That is the performance of the championship from Lewis Hamilton. What a stunning, stunning race. All right, dropped the ball prodigiously with a big spin on lap 2 that put him way down the order to, I don't know, the mid-teens, but...
He's pumped up there, isn't he?
Oh my goodness.
Quite rightly too.
He won't be able to sleep tomorrow night. Never mind tonight.